At these brothers. Man, the other day in the circle, man, the question of the day was what we thought the meaning of life was, right? And my response was like there was a point in time where I thought the meaning of life was all about obtaining things or manifesting things and accomplishments and achieving goals and all that. I thought that was the meaning of life. But over time, man, I found for myself that the meaning of life is simply finding self. The meaning of life to me, man, is simply closing the triad or closing the trinity as religion says it, and a man finding his way back home. Like to me, the meaning of life is finding our way back to that place from which we came, man. And in my mind, I don't think that a person can find his way or her way back to self without establishing their own truth. You know what I'm saying? In other words, let me say it like this. I don't believe a person can find their way back to God without finding self. I don't believe a person can find self without establishing a truth. You know what I'm saying? So in my opinion, man, all these people, all these televangelists, all these religious leaders that are claiming to have connected with that source from which we came, I really just don't believe everybody has unless they've established their truth. And when I say their truth, meaning they're living life under their own jurisdiction, under their own governing force, which is just between them and God. You know what I'm saying? I believe everybody should have their own truth. And I don't believe that's really a common thing. But the thing is, it's not that, in my opinion, it's not that a lot of people don't know what their truth is. You know, I think that a lot of people just aren't aware or afraid of or whatever to live their truth. Again, I don't think that a lot of people don't know their truth. They're just not living their truth. And what I mean by that is, like when you find yourself sitting still, man, and you're able to finally peel back all the layers that life has put on us, man, you know what your truth is. You know exactly what your truth is. What I mean by that is when you get off work, and you go home, man, and you just sitting still and you go in the fridge and pop you something cold, you done had you a meal, your stomach is full, and now you just sitting there in this state of bliss, like, you know what, life is good. That place that you go to, that place that your mind goes to, of what the highest form of life is, when it's just you in a quiet room. You know what I'm saying? When you spend the weekend with old girl and Monday morning rolls around and she's gone and you back at the crib by yourself, and it's just like, okay, you know what? I entertained that world and I was moving a certain way, but now that I'm by myself, I know exactly what the highest form of life would be like. I know exactly what the highest relationship would be like. I know what the highest form of health would be like. Everybody knows what that is. It's just a matter of them moving in it. It's just that a lot of people aren't moving in that truth. So what I want to talk about today, man, is if you wanna find self, if you wanna find your way back to the kingdom, if you want to find your way back home, man, and complete the trinity that everybody has been talking about in every religion, man, you have to find your authentic self. You have to not only find it, but move in it. Because again, I believe that, I won't say everybody, but I believe most people know what their truth is. They know exactly what, like if they could write their life on paper to look exactly what they want it to look like, they know what that looks like, man. But the challenge is moving in it, right? So I would say that one of the main barriers, brothers, that's keeping people from moving in that truth and not just knowing it is, I think a lot of people are looking back. You know what I'm saying? And when I say looking back, I kind of think about Lot's wife in the Bible, right? But it's not necessarily really looking back. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people will say, "Hey, now I'm not looking back, man. I'm moving forward. I'm living a new world. I'm creating a new reality." A lot of people are moving forward, but they're still creating with that back there. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're going to create with your past, you might as well turn around and look back. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand your experiences, our experiences can be a ball and chain keeping us from moving forward, man. Again, you might not think you're looking back. You might have said, hey, you know what? I healed from this childhood trauma. I healed from this relationship. I healed from this boss or whatever that did me wrong. I healed from all these scenarios that could have taken place and damaged me, and I'm moving forward. But you're still basing everything in the future off of the experiences back there. And the thing is, man, that's a hard thing to stop doing, bro. It's a hard thing to stop doing. You know, especially when it comes to, man, I mean, not even one item. It applies to everything. It applies to the way you spend money, save money, invest money. A lot of the way we spend and invest money, man, is based on what we grew up seeing. You know, mama and them putting, or grandmama and them putting change in the jar or whatever they were doing. And a lot of us are moving forward, but we still have the mentality of the past. Or a lot of us still use past relationships to move forward. You know what I'm saying? So again, even though you're not physically looking back and harping on the past, man, you're still creating with that, man. So what you have to do is you have to have a truth check, brothers. And when I say a truth check, what you got to do is you got to sit there and analyze yourself. You got to sit there and audit your own thoughts, audit your own frequency, and say, you know what? If this is what I feel like my truth is, or this is what I desire my truth to be, but this is what my truth actually is, you got to go through there and audit, man, and start vetoing things. You have to start saying no to some things, man. You know what I'm saying? Like this is manual. You know what I'm saying? Everything I'm talking about, man, like a lot of stuff I talk about is, you know, putting things in play in the spiritual sense. And then as a result of that, something taking place in the physical realm. But this is manual, what I'm talking about. You got to look at your life, man. You got to sit still. You got to spend that weekend by yourself and say, you know what? This is where I desire to be. I desire to be living like this. I desire to be looking like this. I desire to be eating like this. I desire for my relationships, everything, my money to be just like this. This is my vision. This is the truth that's hidden under all the layers. This is my truth. But this is my life. This is my financial situation. These are what my relationships are doing. My friends, my lady, everything. You know what I'm saying? And you got to sit there and say, okay, you know what? I got to veto everything on this side that doesn't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? It's an audit process, man. It's a truth check. And I'll say this, man. A truth check is not easy because it's really going to expose you to yourself. A truth check, and I won't say a truth check is the same as going through that ring of fire, but a lot of people don't even want to consciously sit still and look at the world they've created. They don't want to look at it. It takes some accountability, man. It takes some pointing your finger at yourself to say, this is my truth, but this is my life. You know what I'm saying? This is where I work. This is who I date. This is what I eat. This is my level of health. A lot of people don't want to take that accountability, man. So we just whistle and flock through a bed of roses our whole life like it's all good, when it's like, hey, if you want that change, the first thing you got to do is look at yourself, man. You got to look at yourself, man, and have a truth check, and then have the gonads to start vetoing some things. Start vetoing some things, man. Like look at the people in your life. Look at the places you go and say, man, you know what? It just don't match up. It don't match up with where I'm trying to go. So I got to make a choice. You got to understand, man, life is just a series of forks in the road. Life is a series of forks in the roads and choices. It's crazy how one small decision you make can change everything. One small decision you make can change everything. It's like I love that movie. Was it Kutcher? Butterfly Effect. You have to understand that one small decision, man, can, for example, me deciding to say, you know what? let me stop by this park and just fire this cell phone up for a few minutes and make a video. You have no idea how much the small, even if it gets 5 views, me just sitting here making this video is gonna just alter my life. I have no idea how, but if I wouldn't have done it, something else would have taken place. You know what I'm saying? I had a call with a brother yesterday. That the information he gave me yesterday, simply because he said, hey man, I've been following you since this long, man. I've been following your channel, man, and hey, he had a few questions. Then he said, hey, I want to give you some game as well. And the brother just started giving me some investment game. He started talking crypto, and he was speaking this language I didn't hear, man. And just by me saying, hey, one day me saying, hey, you know what? I want to make me a YouTube channel. Having no idea that I would cross paths with all the people I've crossed paths with that have altered my life. So you got to understand, the smallest decision you make is altering your life. You know what I'm saying? So think about the big decisions. Think about the decisions of you saying, hey, you know what? I no longer want to live in this city. I want to put myself in a whole nother city. I want to put myself around a whole nother group of people. Yes, I love this woman. Yes, she's fine. She's cute. She's all that. But I understand that if she's not in my life, I understand what my life will be doing. If the small decisions play that much of a part, think about the big decisions, bro. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta understand, man, to get to your truth, man, it's gonna take a series of quantum leaping. It's gonna take some massive shifts. But you have to understand, man, that you altering the smallest thing you do, brother, is having a major impact. It's having a major impact, even though you think it's small, man. And the beautiful thing about vetoing certain line items in life, man, the beautiful thing about getting rid of certain vices and separating yourself from certain people, man, is that it puts you in a place. It puts you in the whole meat and potatoes behind you doing that is it puts you in a place of nothingness. You know what I'm saying? It puts you in a place of nothingness, man. And when I say nothingness, bro, like the movie, man. What's the movie back when we was young? The Never Ending Story, I believe it's called. Where that dude was riding that big white dog or whatever he was riding, a goat or whatever that was, man. And he kept talking about the great nothing. The great nothing. Like back when we were young, man, we missed that. We didn't understand the meat he was giving us, man. The great nothing. That's that place that everybody on the deepest of levels is seeking, but very few people will go there. That great nothing, man. When you get to separating yourself from everything that doesn't align with your vision and your new truth, it puts you in that place of nothingness, man. You know what I'm saying? In that place of nothingness, man. And this is what I share with my brothers in the circle all the time. Like when we go through hard times, when we go through all the scenarios, health, jobs, bad relationships, all the scenarios, and it puts us at this quote unquote bottom where we feel like our world has just collapsed. You got to understand, man, that's the universe trying to put you in a place of being able to find your truth. That's the universe saying, hey, you know what? You have too many truths that aren't aligned with what you say you really want in this deep spot you have. So let me shake your world up and put you in this space where all you have is nothing. Where what you thought about money, it's collapsed. What you thought about relationship and religion, all that information is collapsed now because this thing has happened to you. Now you're in this state of nothingness. So what most people do, instead of being in this state and looking around and observing that room, they try to swim back to the top. They try to swim back to that older world, man, and rekindle the old financial situation, rekindle the old love, man. You know what I'm saying? And universe is saying, bro, what are you doing? Like I gave you, like it may seem like hard times. It may seem like you're going through a challenge, but I've just put you in position. I've just given you a whole alley-oop. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say, man, and I've been saying this for years, bro. The beauty is in the struggle, man. The beauty is at the bottom. So I'm gonna say this real quick, and I don't want to go off on a whole nother something else. But whenever you're going through some kind of challenge, man, hear me out, bro. Hear me out. Whenever you go through some kind of challenge, yeah, you're gonna be screaming and punching and kicking and trying to gasp for air and looking at things and everything is going in a state of chaos. But if you can just find some calmness, if you can just sit there and breathe, man, and say, okay, you know what? It is what it is. The job let me go. The relationship ended. The car got repoed. The home got foreclosed on. It is what it is. I'm at the bottom. Whatever the scenario is, I'm at the bottom. Let me sit still right quick and look at the goal that's around me. Let me look at this place God has put me, because I understand there's gold there. I love getting online, man, and seeing people that have gone through like certain illnesses. Not saying that I love seeing people go through illnesses, but I love seeing how people have gone through certain illnesses, whether it's like a cancer or like a whatever, man. And in that bottom, in that scenario where that doctor was like, hey, you know what? This is what you got. This is what you're going to live with forever. This is what's going to take you out in 90 days or a year. This is what you're dealing with. This is life. Take 2 of these and call me in the morning if you're still alive. I like when I find people, man, that have gone through that and they found a recipe, or they found a remedy to what they have going on, strictly based off the things that God has put in place. And not only that, but they found it and they're sharing it with people, and now it's changing their whole life. Now they're blessing people with it. You know what I'm saying? I love seeing that, man. And the same thing takes place in every area of life. You got some people that hit money, they hit rock bottom in money or rock bottom in relationships, and now they're gurus and relationship coaches and have beautiful relationships. So it's just like, man, you got to understand, when you're at that bottom, it may seem like it's dark, and it is dark. But you got to understand, even in that dark room and you can't see, you got to understand, bro, there's gold all around you. There's gold and platinum and everything all around you in that dark room, man. So if you can just sit still and breathe, man, and open your spiritual eyes and look at what's around you, man. Like, yeah, man, I've done all the work. I've gotten rid of things. Like now I see the goal around me. So what I'm saying now, get rid of things. Like, again, it's a manual process. What I'm talking about now is a manual process of putting yourself at the bottom. Like, because this is the thing, and this is what took me a long time to understand, bro. Like, a lot of times in life, and I'm looking back over the last 20, 25 years, I will be desiring a thing, but before I knew how to move in a thing, I just desired it. Like I was what is the Kabbalion calls it? A half-truther. I was a half-truther, which means I thought that everything was spiritual. I thought that if I meditated and boom, 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 and did all this stuff, and I thought that the world was going to shift, and it does. But you gotta understand, the quickest way to get to the bottom and have hard times in life is being a half-truther. When I was in all this spiritual, in other words, I was trying to manifest a thing, and what let me just say, what God said at some point is, hey, man, you putting all this spiritual energy out there, but you aren't walking in your I am to accomplish that. Like, if you're gonna put it in the spiritual world, your job, and I know this now, if you're gonna put it in the spiritual world and quote unquote pray for it, then you need to be walking in that I am so that thing can come to be. What I was doing was just meditating on it. What coming to this world looking for a different result. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like I spoke about in A Singular Truth. Having no idea that the same recipe to put me in that current world was the same recipe to get me out. The same, you know. But so what I was doing for 5, 7, maybe 10 years was trying to manifest something. And since I wasn't moving in it, the laws that be were saying, hey, you know what? You keep asking for this thing, so we have to give it to you. Like you're asking, like you aren't walking in it, but you're putting so much in that spiritual realm. We have to give it to you. So you know what? We're going to take all these things from you so you fall to the bottom. So you can be in that area of nothingness. So you can find your way out. And I'm just glad that when I hit my nothingness, that first time I hit that hard nothingness, instead of finding my way out, I sit still because again, one beautiful thing about that nothingness, man, is it strips you of what you thought you knew. I thought I knew what God was. I thought I knew what relationships were supposed to do and all that. I thought I knew everything when I was in my 20s, but you couldn't tell me nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? When I found a little knowledge, you know what I'm saying? When I found a little knowledge outside the Bible, one little book or something, you know what I'm saying? I thought I was him. I thought I knew everything, man. And God said, okay, yeah, you've been in this space for about a year or two. Yeah, you're accomplishing things. You got a little nugget of knowledge. But God said, man, I'm going to show you something. I don't care if you live on this planet for 1,000,000 years, you still won't have a fraction of what I am. You know what I'm saying? So God put me in a position, man, and stripped everything from me. And it put me in a position to say, you know what? I thought I knew, man, but I know nothing. I know nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I know absolutely nothing. I'm gonna tell you, man, that's one of the most powerful positions you can find yourself in. Because when you're in that position, man, now God can show you everything, bro. Can show you everything. Even the fraction, even the portion of a nugget of information that I have been bestowed upon or that have been bestowed upon me in my life is still nothing, man. Like I'm still a student. You know what I'm saying? I'm still looking at ways to find my bottom, to put myself in nothingness. I'm still analyzing my life, man. And even though there's some things I love about life, I understand that, hey, you know what, man, to get deeper in self, to get deeper in my own authenticity, which is getting me closer to self, which is getting me closer to God, I have to always be auditing things. I have to always be auditing self. I have to always be auditing people. I have to always be auditing what I'm buying. I always have to be auditing what I'm eating and trying to get better and getting rid of things that no longer serve me, man. That's how you make that triad stronger, bro. That's the meaning of life, man. To get deeper, in other words, the meaning of life is to create heaven on earth. And I'm not saying create heaven on earth in the sense of creating your vision and bringing it to here. That's part of it. All right. But I'm talking about having that oneness with God. I'm talking about when the messenger says some of y'all shall not taste death. That type energy. Because you gotta understand that type energy. Like when the messenger says some of y'all shall not taste death, man. What he's saying is that some of y'all are gonna be vibrating so high that if something came into your life right now and just boom, heart attack, bullet to the dome, and took your life, then there's not gonna be a big difference in the way you vibrating right now and the way you vibrating when you cross over to the other side. You know what I'm saying? Like think about somebody that's vibrating low. All I want to do is smoke weed and drink high and drink women and live low, living my best life, right? And something happens. In that, like I always say, death is the highest level of consciousness. I've been saying that since the recipe. Sleep, death, meditation, all those are the same world, but death is the highest level of consciousness, right? So think about somebody just being just living low vibrational, man, they get taken out. When they're in the process of crossing over whatever that really is, it's going to be a whole 40 acres and a mule worth of knowledge and understanding they have to encompass to be in that state of being. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like on that old movie Ghost, when old boy got killed. I don't know if he got hit by a truck or what happened, but he died. He looked around, he was dead. He was just like, oh snap! Like what in the world is going on? Like where am I? You know what I'm saying? So when it says some of y'all shall not taste death, it's like whenever I die, when I cross over, I don't want to be too much farther than where I am right now, to where I'm in a different realm. And it's like, oh yeah, God, I still see you because I saw you over there. So I'm still in your presence here. So when you hear me talking about that triad and going deeper, that's what I'm talking about, bro. That's what I'm talking about. And again, I'm never negating all the other things in life and the manifesting and getting the bag. I'm all about that life. Y'all know I'm about that life. But if you haven't found that kingdom first, man, you really don't understand. You really don't understand how much those other things lack fulfillment. There's some fulfillment in them, but it's like a third dimensional level of fulfillment. It's It's some playing the game type fulfillment. It's like if I go home and fire up the PlayStation and score me a few touchdowns on NCAA type fulfillment. Yeah, that feels good. Like, man, that was fun, man. That was a good little 45 minutes I spent out of my day and had fun. Scored me a few TDs, a couple of interceptions. That was fun. But when I put that game down and step back in the world and connect with God, oh, it's apples and oranges. It's not even apples and oranges. It's two different planets when it comes to fulfillment. So that's why I harp that all the time, man. So it's all about finding your truth, because what I'm talking about right now, when I'm talking about having that connection with Source, you can't have that connection without first finding self. You can't. You can't find self without first identifying what self is, both sides of it, and establishing a truth so that both I don't know, that ain't proper English, so that both portions of self can come together and become one. Think about what I'm saying, bro. Think about what I'm saying. I need you to soak this in, man, because we can sit there and talk about salvation and Jesus, and we can talk about all that stuff, man, and I'm not going down that alley. But when you're talking about connecting your higher self and lower self, you have to understand that the only thing that can connect your higher self and lower self is a truth. Like a truth, like an agreed truth. Because you got to understand that your deepest truth is held in your spiritual side, but your ego side holds a truth. That's the truth that you're living by right now. Most people are living by right now. Oh, the world told me this was success. Oh, the world told me my woman's supposed to look like this and act like this and twerk like this. Oh, the world told me I'm supposed to eat this kind of food. Okay, that's my truth. But the world told me I'm supposed to be on Section 8. The world told me I'm supposed to live below my means. The world told me I'm supposed to be restricted to living in this area or this country. Okay, that's my truth. I'll just live my life. But on the deepest level, man, there's something over here when I'm by myself. When those layers are peeled off, these are my thoughts. I don't tell anybody these things, man. I don't share this stuff. I don't post this stuff on the gram. But these are my deepest thoughts, man. I would love to, man, I would love to live in South Africa. I would love to be, man, just a vegan or a fruitarian or a this. I would love to grow my hair out and get dreads. I would love to learn a different language. I would love to invest in crypto and be successful in this area, man, and travel the world and do this. Like, this is my deepest truth. Man, that alarm goes off and you snap out of it. Back to the ship. Back to the ship. So all I'm talking about, man, is you taking this ego truth, getting rid of it, and establishing one truth with your spirit side. That's holding the highest level that you want to live in. And the way that you do that, man, is you have to veto every single thing in your life, bro. It's painful. It's painful. It's so much of a truth, man, that even people in my life, man, even people in my life that I love, I hope that if ever I'm in a situation or they're in a situation to where they're looking at me and I'm just like, I'm not agreeing with what their truth is. I'm not subscribing to what their truth is. I'm not loving them a certain way. I'm not feeding them a certain way. Anybody in existence. My prayer, my energetic field says, I desire for that person to get me out of their life. I desire for that person to rid me of their life. No, you ain't got to text me, say goodbye. You ain't got to do none of that stuff. Just chunk me the deuces in spirit and be gone. Don't let me disrupt your truth, because I won't let you disrupt mine. You know what I'm saying? Let's be clear. Let's be clear. I won't let you disrupt mine, so I put the same energy on anybody else. And I'm talking about anybody. My mom, who I love. My son, who I love. Anybody I'm in a relationship who I love. It's like if I ever disrupt your truth, man, put a barrier between me. My son. You got to hear what I'm saying. Now, my son hits a certain age and he says, Dad, you know, man, I hear you getting on the World Wide Web. I heard you getting on Zuckerberg's internet, talking that stuff. You be talking like, hey, you know what, man, I applaud you. But what you're saying is not agreeing to my truth, Dad. If my son ever says that, I'm saying, hey, you know what? That's what's up, man. Like, Unsubscribe from not only my channel, but unsubscribe from me if you have to for a while. In other words, son, if my truth is disrupting where you're going, hey, man, I get it, man. If you need to disappear for 5 months, 6 months, a year, go on your little hiatus, find your own truth while I'm out of your energetic field, that's what you're supposed to do. Because that's what I would do. Of course, there's no way in the world I can let my son disrupt my energetic field because I am his creator. You know what I'm saying? In the sense of the hierarchy and the physical. Y'all get what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's what it's all about, man. Finding your truth. And you gotta understand, man. Once you find it, bro, it's like there's so much peace associated with it, man. Because what it does is, even though the world has a tendency to try to bring you out of it, it just keeps you in the moment, bro. Like if I could just think of any beautiful scenario right now, it will be this right here, bro. The sun is shining, man. The birds are chirping. Squirrels are running around. People are walking around getting healthier, man. I'm seeing an elderly couple over there. They probably been together for 40 plus years or whatever, man. It's like, bro, it's like today is Saturday and I don't have to worry about, like, bro, life is doing what it's supposed to do. Like there's so much fulfillment in this moment. And when I leave here and go to wherever I go, the coffee shop, when I go to the gym, that's going to be the highest moment because I'm still living my truth. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand that once you're living your truth, there is no such thing as, like when people say, oh, I get bored. You get what? I get bored with life, man. Like how? How do you get bored with your own creation? How do you get, if you're made in the image of God, how do you get bored with your creation? How do you get tired of eating your own cooking? I'm gonna tell you this, man. I can cook a mean steak. I can cook some mean salmon. I can eat it every day. I can eat it for 365 days straight. It's my meal. It's my meal. It's my truth. So what I'm saying is when you cook your own recipe, kind of piggybacking off of the video I made yesterday, when you cook your own recipe, what are you bored of? What are you tired of? What are you frustrated with in life? You made it. You made it. And like I said in the book of Singular Truth, man, you got to understand that the same recipe that put you in this situation is the same recipe that will get you out. And when I say same recipe, I don't mean the same ingredients, but the same process. Your thoughts, your actions, your behaviors. In the book, I said, what man doesn't understand is he's desiring a new truth, but he's frustrated with his current truth. I said, what he doesn't understand is that same recipe that got him in this current situation is the same recipe, actions, attributes, demeanor, thoughts, is the same recipe that will get him out. So if you're bored with life, if you're frustrated with life, if you're frustrated with your money, if you're frustrated with living in your city, if you're frustrated with the person you living with, bro, have a truth check. Have a truth check, man. There's something you're not auditing, man. Or there's something you're auditing it. You see it, but there's something you're turning your eyes to. There's something you've identified that doesn't align with your truth, but you're saying, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give it another 90 days. If this job don't make me happy in the next 120 days, 6 months, then I'll make some changes. I'll apply somewhere else. 6 weeks turn into 6 months, into 6 years, and so forth. You gotta audit that thing, man, and nip it right then. You might look at something and say, okay, you know what? I'm doing my self audit. I see this portion of my life. I see what it's doing. I'm gonna give it 5 minutes. I'm gonna give it 5 minutes to get right. Turn your mind, turn your head, get to work and keep building your truth, man, and look up, and if it's still doing it, whing, off with its head. Whatever it is, whoever it is. People, places, things, thoughts, behaviors, rituals. Whoever it is, whatever it is, man. They have to be vetoed, bro. Things have to be vetoed, man. So all I'm saying is this, brothers. What is the meaning of life to you, man? What is the meaning of life? Is it the accomplishment of goals? Is it to conquer life to an extent that makes your brother jealous, where you feel like you the best, where you feel like you him? Is that what it is? Is the purpose of life, man, getting the big crib? Is it accomplishing the fast mobiles? Or is it something much deeper, bro? Is it traveling that path? You know what I'm saying? Is it going the direction? Is it looking at the fork in the road and going the direction that very few men will go? Is it separating yourself from the masses, man, and saying, you know what? I want to find deeper levels of self. This Trinity that everybody talks about, huh? I want to find that. I don't even call it the Trinity. I call it the triad. This Trinity that everybody talks about, but I don't really see nobody traveling that path to get there. I want to go there. I want to go there, and I want to experience that level of God that's hard to even describe to somebody that's never even tasted that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand why, like, when I make content like this, I understand why this type content gets sometimes. It depends on how it's, but people aren't really interested in this as they are in me speaking on turmoil. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people can't, like, a lot of people, when I get to speaking, a lot of people, some of y'all get it, but a lot of people can't identify with what I'm saying unless they've tasted it. Like, we can talk about the kingdom of heaven till the cows come home, but unless you've tasted it, man, you really don't understand what I'm talking about. It may just sound like, oh, that sounds dope, man. Yeah, let's find higher levels of self. Let's find this. It may sound good, but unless you've tasted it, you really don't understand. You really don't understand. It's kind of like my mama, man. My mama, like, she make this fried chicken. Her fried chicken is like heaven sent. You know what I'm saying? Her fried chicken is like heaven sent. I ain't had none in a good while. But it's like, man, I can sit there and tell you, man, my mom's fried chicken is the bomb. You could be like, dang, what's up? That's what's up, man. I bet it's the bomb. It's like, no, like you hear me and you've had fried chicken before, but I can't even start telling you about the herbs and spices that's taking place in my mouth unless you've tasted it yourself. Like, once you've tasted her chicken, you could be like, yeah, her chicken is fire. But if you haven't tasted it, all you can do is compare it to all the chicken you've had. All you can do is compare it to Williams chicken. All you can do is compare it to churches and pies. And you saying, yeah, it's good. So when I'm sitting there and talking about finding that triad and connecting to God itself, you're comparing it to, oh yeah, that's what Pastor said. When Pastor said I dunk my head in the water and come out, that's what Pastor said I was going to be feeling. Oh, that's what the Imam said when I go to Mecca and I make it back to Texas. That's that feeling I'm going to feel. I hear what you're saying, soul. It's like, no, you don't understand, man. You might can understand the process, and I hope you're understanding the process I'm talking about to get there, but you don't understand what this chicken tastes like I'm talking about, bro. You got to go down through that path. You got to experience some things. You got to go through that fire. You got to forgive some people. You got to get rid of some things, man. And then once you get there, you got to soak in your own truth. You got to take your ego mind and your spiritual mind and come together. And boom, God shows up, man. God shows up. And I'm going to tell you this. You can never go back from there. I'll say this. Because I won't say you can never go back. Because you can fall. Because I've fallen once in my life. And that's what hell is. We can talk about what hell is. That's what hell is. You can fall back. And fall back and get your way back up, man. But you can never. One thing you can never do is go back to what you used to be. Never. Like the version of me that existed some years ago, and I don't know what that number is, but I could never be that person. I could never be that person. I know too much and I've seen too much. Now I can let something knock me off my square. I can take a hit in some area of life, finances, relationship, or whatever, and take a blow, man, and lose my center and get off, and have to find my way back. Or I can consciously make a decision to get off my square, like I did some years ago, and looked up and said, oh snap, I volunteered to go to hell and take 2 or 3 years to get my way back. You can do that, but I can never go back to Armand. I can never go back to a version that existed before soul existed. I can't do it. I see him back there. I can see the remains of his dead body back there, but I can never go back and breathe life into him. I can never resurrect that version of myself, bro. I've seen too much. It's kind of like if you go to school, man, and you got an exam. It's kind of like this, man. This probably ain't gonna be a good scenario, man. I went and got my I had to go to DMV. This is probably a horrible scenario. I don't know why this crossed my mind. I had to go to the DMV, man, and get some stuff changed up for my ID, man. You know, and my eyes aren't the best, man. I can see good when I'm driving, you know, during the daytime. I can see good during the daytime. I mean, I can't see nothing way out, but I'm good. But at nighttime, I gotta have my glasses on when I'm driving and stuff. Anyway, I'm going to get my DMV, man. I'm getting I'm changing address and all kind of stuff. And I'm sitting there in line, and I look to the left, and I see this board, right? I see this board that has the eyesight thing on it, right? And the whole time I'm sitting there talking to this lady, I'm sitting there talking like, yes, ma'am, yeah, this is my so-and-so, this is my new da-da-da-da. I'm looking to the left, and I'm remembering each of these lines. It was a challenge, but I'm remembering each one of these lines. I just kept saying it over my mind. All lines. She said, okay, step back on the line and read the lines. I'm like, oh, I got to do my eye test? I stepped back, man. I couldn't see nothing. I couldn't see it. Everything looked like E's, man. And I sit there and spit it out. Boom, boom, boom. In other words, I put something in my mind that I couldn't unsee. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't tell what was going on, but I'd been exposed to something that I couldn't see. I put something in my mind that I can no longer not see. I could almost still recite them letters right now, man. So that's what I'm saying, man. Once you travel this path, once you cross this threshold, once you find this great nothing, man, and you go in this room and you see a glimpse of what the kingdom is, the old you is no longer, man. It no longer exists. It no longer exists. Now you might find yourself in a state of limbo where you're just kind of wandering around the world, stuck in between two spots of what your truth is or what the truth is in the old version. And I believe a lot of people are there. When you see a lot of people sitting up under porches or up under crack houses or up under bridges, and all they can do is the ball and the pipe, I believe they're in limbo. I believe they've seen something. And now they're stuck because they didn't have the courage, or they didn't have the know-how, or they didn't have the knowledge, or they didn't have something to make them say, let me go ahead and go in this room. Let me go ahead and go in this room, man, and let this old world crumble. They didn't have something about them that, you know what I'm saying? So, I know I'm rambling, man. It's a beautiful Saturday. Life is good. God is good. And I just feel like talking to my brothers, man. But all I'm going to say is find your truth, bro. Find your truth. It makes sense now. Like when the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom. Seek the kingdom first. Everything else is going to be, like life is going to be lifing. Whatever you think life is supposed to do, it's going to do whatever it's supposed to do. You can't change that. The sun going to come up, the sun going to set. You still going to have good times. You still going to have bad times. But if you want to have understanding when life is lifing, if you want to have peace, you know what I'm saying? If you want to have knowledge when life is lifing, then come over here first. Get this thing I have for you first, then go play the game. Go play the game first. In other words, you want to play Monopoly? Read the instructions first, then go play the game. Because if you just go play the game, man, you're going to be running around like a chicken with his head cut off. You're going to be out there you might think it's fun, but to play a game without understanding, I'm rambling now, man. I'm rambling now. Y'all brothers have a good Saturday. Love y'all brothers.